In patch 3.17, I went into Path of Exile expecting to be playing Explosive Trap, Saboteur, and I did a lot of research, but I had never played through it, through like the mid game, and I think that's what really caused me to end up uh, re-rolling. And in this case, this is probably the best case scenario. I'll leave a link to a video that I did with another YouTuber named Tenki about the cost of re-rolling and my decisions, my thought process going into it. So I'm not gonna go into it too much. However, the build that I did roll into is phenomenal, and I would be doing you a disservice by not showing it to you. So, what is the build? This build is Poison Helix Nightblade, and I'm sure that you have seen some of these builds popping up and a lot of hype going around the Nightblade stuff, and I will be the first one to admit I was very skeptical of such things. In fact, that so much that I just decided not to. In fact, this was one of the builds I was thinking about league starting. However, I was like, no, I feel like it'd be too clunky. But alas, Explosive Trap fell through, and this was here to replace it. I ended up re-rolling to Assassin. I ended up getting a Wasp Nest, and from then on, I just kind of face rolled all the way through red maps and bossing and everything. Um, this build ended up being phenomenal. Then taking it to the next level. Yeah, I decided, the build just not tanky enough. Decided, Divine Flesh, that's definitely something I want to do. Got a bunch of levels, got 89 max Chaos Res. Comfortable. With all the new Eldritch currency, this gearing ended up being insane. Um, there's like chess piece has +2 maximum chaos res for free basically. You can get easy suppression, easy avoid. I'm not using an influence chess piece, gloves, or boots. The only influence I'm using is my helmet. It's because it has -9, which is damn near impossible to beat, I guess. And I tried, trust me. In fact, Wasp Nest is even hard to beat, and I feel like I could easily beat it if I put in more effort. However, I am going to be moving on to a next build sometime. I'll guys let you know when I start building that. Hopefully, it's some sort of stacking thing with less damage taken for stats and omniscience, something like that. However, I want to give you a good overview, my final POB for this build, my final update. And first, I'm gonna go with my thoughts. First thoughts: this build is great. If you want to play hardcore, play this build. If you want to have an easy time leveling, play this build. If you want to be comfortable in your mapping experience, play this build. If you enjoy doing some end game bosses, then play this build. Uber Elder is kind of meh. The damage isn't insane on this. It's just very, very tanky. And some boss fights that leave creep on the ground. With that being said, I have killed every boss, including I did kill Cortex, but I almost actually killed Cortex with -80% chance to poison. I almost did Cortex when 80% of my build just was shut off. That's insane. It's just crazy to me that I actually almost did that Cortex. But anyway, I've killed every boss in the game. Maven, the new bosses, Uber Elder, everything has been completed on this build. I've even farmed Wave 30 Simulacrums with this build. It's crazy how well this build performs, especially in high density situations. With life gained on hit and leech and stuff. It's just kind of crazy. Um, if you are playing hardcore, this is definitely a good place. If you could play a lot more safe than I am and not run crazy tier 16 Val Temple maps, that'd be great. I'm gonna leave in, when I'm going over the year, I'm gonna leave in the Cirrus fight, which is just comical. Cirrus is an absolute joke on this fight. I don't even move. The only attack that can kill me is Meteor tier 3. You just kind of sit in the die beam and not move, and it's comedy. So with that being said, I'm gonna leave the Sears fight in the background while I talk about the gear and my choices from then on. So Thank you guys so much for your amazing support, and I love seeing all these new subscribers coming in. Yeah, you guys have a good day, and here's the gear. First item up for business is the Wasp Nest. This is actually really hard to beat. I don't understand why. It's got a bunch of fizz on it. It's got the attack speed you need. It's got the base crit that you need. It also has poison on hit, which is non-negligible. It's got accuracy. This item is actually just feels good, man. It's 1 chaos or maybe like 5 chaos to 10 chaos if you're getting a perfect one. You don't even need to corrupt them because the 40 life gain on hit is actually really nice. I don't know. It's just really good. It is hard to beat this, however you can. Um, the damage you deal with the chaos when with at least 5 poisons is pretty negligible, especially since we use deadly ailments. It's not something I would really worry about. But yeah, so that's Wasp Nest. It's pretty sweet. I don't know. It's a very good because it's only 1 chaos, and it's like almost best in slot. Next item up for business is my chess piece. One very notable thing is the +2 chaos resistance maximum. It's very nice for Divine Flesh, which is what we are using, and this is not a hard mod to hit. However, it is Grand mod, so it could get a slightly expensive, but not too bad. The chest itself is suppression and life, and the res that we do need, as well as an open prefix so we can craft maximum life onto it. This chest piece could technically be better, but not very much better. Here we have a -9 chaos and some int because we are a little stat starved, as well as the craft. The other important thing is the craft, which is duration of ailments while you're focused. So ends up stacking those poisons, a little bit more during your boss fights. It's really the only place that it is applicable, because everything kind of just dies before then, as well as we did get T1 life from a Keeping Suffixes Harvest Reforge. Haha, this ring is beautiful. Double res, despair. I know it's not catalyzed all the way, but I can't be asked. And I know it's not blessed, but I don't need the extra chaos res, so whatever. Non-channeling -7 is a pretty good one to have. You are not using a lot of mana, but there it is there, so yep. These rings are so friggin' sweet. Damage recouped is life. I wish I could get this on the other ring, to have a little bit more damage recouped as life. It is basically the only regen that we take for, we don't have a lot of regen, so we do have a lot of life gain on hit and leech and stuff. So when we are in combat, it is very good, but out of combat, it's kind of meh. But these rings are really good because we don't need a lot of prefixes. Really the only prefixes that we could get is life, and all it would take is me doing a reforge, Keeping Suffixes to get the life eventually. That's how you could change this up. But, the elemental damage doesn't do anything. But the poison duration does wonders, as well as damage with poison. So, yep, very good ring. Also, if you see me die in the background, it's just because I'm limit testing. I've done this fight deathless many, many times. I'm just kind of seeing what I can tank. However, here's my amulet. There's nothing special about it. It's just a +1 amulet. It's got some crit, and it's got Withered Effect anointed onto it, as well as a buttload of stats because that's what we need. So this is the old classic Stygian Vise, life, res. I did slam chaos damage onto it, which is pretty cool. I could have gone with % life. That would have been sweet as well. The jewel that goes into it is just chaos damage to attacks, which does scale our damage pretty well. It's pretty cut and dry here. This is I mean, besides a mage blood, this is what you just get. Another really good piece of gear is my boots. Also Harvest crashed as well as Eldritch crafted this. The T1 life was Eldritch crafted with the Eldritch Chaos Orbs. It's very good. Elemental Avoid to cap us, as well as action speed, because why not action speed? Who really cares about movement speed? I don't even use a Quicksilver Flask on this build because it's just really not needed. You have so much speed from Elusive that you just kind of don't need high amounts of movement speed. Starting to see a trend of really crazy gear. Here is a bunch of suppression, 26% suppression, T1 suppression, and spell suppression on the implicit. What? Attack speed, that could very easily be rage gained on hit. Does give you a little bit more movement speed. Like I said, you don't really need the movement speed. Attack speed will just help you all the time, and it's way less inconsistent. With rage, you have to build it up, and unless you have the 0.8 seconds, I don't think it's really that worth it. Strength to give us the requirement that we need. T1 life, res, more life. What a just bonkers item. I love these new Eldritch currencies. All right, now onto the shield, which is just another crazy item. I'm sorry that all I have is crazy items. You could also downplay these items pretty well and still do and have a lot of success. T1 maximum chaos res, which does roll on non-influence bases now, as well as chance to avoid ailments. T1, this does cap us. I will go over the defenses here in a bit, but this is also just another crazy crazy item. I do put an inertia here. This is because it is sort of hard to get the stats that we need for some of our gear. However, this helps tremendously with the amount of strength that we do need. We have one single cluster jewel, which is our Born of Chaos, gives us +3 maximum chaos reg, which is also important for our Divine Flush. Speaking of Divine Flush, this is where we put it. It's very nice that we don't have to get rid of any of our notables, as well as the only thing that we really give up is the life that we would normally take there. However, this build may only have around 5k life, but this build is incredibly tanky, and I will go over the defenses right now. Without any flasks up, we sit at about 50% physical damage reduction, as well as 68% chance to evade attacks. We are suppression capped, which is amazing, as well as we are suppression capped when we are not at full life, because that node probably baits people. You have to make sure you're at least 10% above your suppression cap, because when you're not at full life, you'll be at like 95%, and you'll die randomly sometimes, and it feels real bad. Res capped, obviously. Chaos res is at 89%. We have a non-negligible amount to block, which is 26%. It probably doesn't help too much, but hey, it's there. We are avoidance capped. This comes from our boots, from our shield, as well as we do get stuff from crystal skin, and the health nodes just below it give you a total of 20%. I only got 28% movement speed as a base and 5% action speed. However, with elusive, it is still very fast, and it feels very comfortable, so I don't feel like I need more than that. Alright, let's wrap this way longer than usual build up. Here's my final thoughts. If you're looking for a build that you can play in SSF, if you're looking for a build that you can play in trade and min-max, if you're just looking for a comfortable casual build, this is something for you. And I'm gonna link some different versions to the build down in the description. There's certainly other ways to play this. You can play it as Impale very easily. Some people even use White Wind and use it as just like a cold damage type of thing. I don't know. There's just a lot of ways that you can play it. It's just very comfortable. Spectral Helix has way outperformed what I thought it was going to. I love this build, and if it doesn't get nerfed, I might just league start it next league. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and all the new subscribers that come in, I can't thank you guys enough. I didn't really expect any sort of growth, but hey, thank you guys for being here. Thanks you guys for sticking to it. So with that being said, see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful day.